Hi, my name is Samantha Schaefer, and I believe that cities across America should be using green architecture for all new construction. What is green architecture? As journalist Noreen Can states, green architecture is a building technique that focuses on creating the lowest possible amount of negative impacts to the existing environment. This includes recycled materials and omitting emissions. Sustainable materials are important because America's greenery is disappearing. Green architecture, part of the definition, also is the conscious use of sustainable materials. It's scary and sad to think that if we carry on with our ways, seeing plants and trees might one day be a rare sight. This is a further um, diagram of green energy and green building. The most important factor to remember is that green building tries to make building and just in general more efficient with energy, land, water, and waste management and management in general of a building. There is sustainable architecture as well that goes along with green architecture, which is more about saving water and saving materials. Concerning sustainable materials, it is often misconceived that they are not readily available. Today, we have almost for every type of conventional material, there is a sustainable replacement. They are available and the prices aren't that different. Some of the most common are we use straw or recycled cotton, which is a more benefit because it's recycled compared to fiberglass, which most homes don't want to use fiberglass anyways. Also, we could use recycled plastics in place of concrete or bamboo in place of wood. There is also some aesthetic. People use the metal sheeting or they replace it with the greenery. Now, the each alternative for the materials will vary in price, but according to Greg Katz from Capital E, he reports that on average it's a 2% increase in upfront costs. 2% doesn't sound that much different or as much as an impact as some other building costs have. I think it sounds pretty reasonable considering the amount of good that it does, especially when you use recycled materials such as the recycled cotton or plastic, because we're always trying to reuse and recycle plastic. So the goods overweigh all the bads. The material that can be used is also the recycled materials that I mentioned before. Overall, the cost is more efficient as well. There is no significant increase other than a very, very slight. That 2% also transfers over in overall project costs. The overall benefit can be so significant that this small increase in price doesn't seem much of a difference. As a fun fact as well, I dug into Gregory Katz his report, and he also did a study that showed that in a national review of the 30 green schools across America as of 2021, found out that there was an average of $70 per square foot savings in all operational costs. Their water, their waste, and their lights were all in savings. The next point that I want to make is that I don't think that old construction should be demolished. Most old structures in America get rated for their copper and then they are demolished completely. We see as copper is the only valuable resource that we can sell and use for to get cash value for, and that's why we use it. Well, the other very important materials don't get used, and the bank or whoever owns it typically ends up demolishing the building. There's a lot of laws that go against trespassing, discourage the people that could use the materials in the abandoned structures. If all the abandoned structures or bank-owned construction was available for recycling, it would be more. It would cut costs and be saved from making excess materials that we already do. Here are some abandoned structures that I found where you can see where there's wood on the stairs that could have been used, but was further damaged just from sitting on an empty lot. Moving forward, the low requirements for constructions and legal restrictions should be greener. Over the last few years, our building requirements have progressed, but not nearly as much as they should. Here are some of the standard codes to date of 2023 of what the codes are and how loose they actually are. Most of them are voluntary and not required. Another challenge that green architecture faces is a lack of awareness. There's a giant misconception that people think that it is difficult and expensive, but as I have said, it's really much of a difference when it comes to price, and it looks a lot better too. That's my last key point that I want to talk about is aesthetics. I think that it is a personal opinion, but I think most people can agree that they like to see the greenery over just metal on metal. I think that if we thought about how beautiful these structures would look in the fall in the colder climates, I think everyone would be in favor of these buildings, especially some of the homes. To conclude, I think that green building should be further encouraged and required for new construction. Green building is efficient, uncostly, and beautiful. Thank you.